last question on that note, though, because that's how it impacts like the smaller companies, which is obviously devastating. Because we're seeing a ton of companies, install companies go out of business. There's a big one. Cubic just went out of business, right?
Yeah, I did see
There's
that.
been a ton of big companies. I'm not gonna name all the names, but there's a lot of big companies that have been going out of business. Smaller, medium, large, like all sizes have been going out of business, which is tragic because I feel like this has a big part to do with it. It's not everything, but I feel like this has a big part to, because if all their attention and time, here's the other layer too, right? If all their attention and time is going to solving this part of the funnel, which is, you know, the volume, right? It's all coming in here. We're solving this. We're hiring for this. We're trying to fix this. We're trying to get better communication to the reps, like whatever it may be. Then I guarantee you a lot of their attention cannot go to actually making their systems, software, and processes better. It's just solving this, and then they still get into this clunky thing.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
It's just a reactive approach to problem solving. And it's like, instead of getting to the root of the problem and actually fixing that, they're just putting Band-Aids on everything. And eventually, those Band-Aids come off. They lose their stickiness. And then, you know, the truth is exposed. And you start to see the pain points and really the lack of planning on those operational, and then everything is a fire drill. And it's like, let's not live in a fire drill. Like, let's get to the root of the problem, right? And so that's where I think sales really has a big opportunity to step up and like actually revere the job that, like, and really respect the job that the installer has to give the homeowner that you took the time out of your day to spend time with and sit at their kitchen table. Like, have respect for both and just really like raise your standards and just be better. And it's really cool to see the buy-in from Spartan. And while the numbers might not be sexy, you know, it might not be 2,300 or 5,000 or even, you know, whatever number you want to throw out there. But if the quality of your work is there and the installer is rewarding you for that, and you find the right partners that are going to like also be great for your customer, like your referrals and your retention and your checks are just going to be more, it's just going to be abundant, you know? And so, that's where I'm at with how cool it's been to see, again, that shift in Spartan.
And then last note on the side of like what problems it causes, then we're going to go into the solution side of it. But even that's like some of the smaller companies, right? How it can impact them hiring this new sales force. Now, looking at, because I know your own experience, but dealing with a company that already has a lot of volume, can handle a lot of volume, and then experiences, because there's a bunch of those big installers out there, right? That can do that. They can handle that. How does that impact, you know, them in that situation where they're getting, you know, maybe a 40% pull-through rate? Does that still have an impact on them, or are they like kind of immune to it at that point?
You know, it depends on what their process looks like. I think for anybody, the loss of opportunity is detrimental. Their costs aren't, their profitability isn't going to be as high. And so if, you know, that installer isn't looking at that more granular data about that sales team and really making an adjustment there just for the well-being of their employees and for the company at large, like, then what are you doing? Like, that's something that I feel like every large installer should be looking at, and then it's just about how it is that they're strategizing to really make a difference so that way that problem gets solved.
Right. And now moving and pivoting over to like the solution, the sexy part, right? So this is what I love, because I don't know if then you've been in operations a lot longer than I, so you've seen how different operations are handled at different companies. You've seen it at scale, smaller, medium, large. You've seen everything, which is awesome perspective. I love the perspective because it lets me know like how are we doing right now. Sometimes I just like, I think we're doing good. But going into like that side of things, one thing we do at Spartan Solar, or I really just want to keep calling it the Spartan Elite Army because that's what it is at this point. One thing that we do every single month is we do an operations blitz.
The coolest thing in the entire world, by the way.
It's like 3 to 5 days where all of operations fly into one location, and we go down into every single friction point we are experiencing, our partners are experiencing, and we try to create the systems through software, the solutions, the people. We try to do whatever we can to create the process that will allow for that solution to not only like sound good, but come to life and be scalable, because scalable is the key word here.
Oh, it sure is.
So I freaking love these operations blitz, and having you to like kind of lead it is amazing.
Yeah.
And what's crazy to me is we think about it, the last not this one we just did, but the first one, which was that in July or
August.
When was that? That was in August.
Yeah, September. Yeah, we have our October.
Our first operations blitz was in August.
Yeah.
Right after you
End
came
of August,
on.
yeah.
End of August, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And within, once this was brought to attention that we wanted to create a system, to allow our install partners to have the absolute best experience. Like, we want to make it a perfect experience for them. We want to make it a perfect experience for our reps. And then this carries over to our leaders too.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, if there's a system to solve the problem of having jobs not go to install or not really knowing how everyone's performing, or having a rep have to constantly go back and forth to fix problems, the leader's time can get destroyed. Just if they want to get glass on the roof, can get destroyed just trying to take care of all these little things, right?
Totally.
So going back just then, which was August, which is crazy to think that's like, I thought it was in July or something. Wow. But it was just
Time
then
flies by
when we
you're
did.
having fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun.
We do.
What's poppin', Slime?
What's poppin', Slime? Nothing, Fab.
Yeah, I got to learn all the expressions. We got some things we go back and forth on. But we had the idea of like, okay, we want to solve this at scale where we can deliver perfection to the installers. Yeah. And we talked about it and we figured it out and we dived it in. A month later, it's live now. Yeah. It went live, was it this week?
This Monday.
It went live this Monday to the only thing that ever gets delivered to an installer is perfection, meaning that job's ready to go glass on roof.
And
right?
It's not perfect like, oh, we put all the things that the sales has to have and we made it a mandatory field. No, because we've seen a Pringles can in place of a utility bill, right? So it looks like it's clean because everything's all filled out, but what is the review process for that, right? And so the fact that it's verified perfection is huge, and that will make installers excited to work on Spartan jobs and sort
by install partners.
Sort by Spartan jobs and do them first because they're going to be the fastest, the easiest.
You can just control delete the rest.
Exactly. No,